För drygt 20 år sedan så möttes jag och Tina. På en kall läktare beslöt vi oss att bygga det som idag har blivit Lövsta Östutryck. Vi förverkligar vår vision genom utbildning och tävling med hästar av högsta kvalitet. På våra civilstationer med hingstar och civilverksamhet av yttersta klass så har vi en mål att ta fram morgondagens stjärnor. Vårt motto är Set the Earth as the only planet with horses. Och vi vill vara en katalysator för hållbarhetsarbetet inom hela hästnäringen. Vi känner stor glädje i de magiska ögonblicken av möten mellan häst och människa. Och vi vet att hästarna gör oss till bättre människor.
Hjärtligt välkomna tillbaka. Inta era platser och håll fast er. För nu kommer det hända grejer. Nu kommer det skvätta i sanden, riva i kurvorna. Och de som ska ta sig igenom de här, det är de absolut bäst manade. Mattias Gårdlund och Adam Johansson tar ner det här i detaljer så att vi kan skydda oss i de rätta kurvorna.
Ja, tack så mycket Henrik och välkomna ännu en gång ska ni vara till det som är FEI Driving World Cup. En världscup som har 8 deltävlingar. Vi är halvvägs in i den. Det är dags för den 4:e deltävlingen här i Stockholm. En klass som presenteras av Creative Technology.
Qualifying place, but chatting to Fredrik earlier during the draw, it was fascinating. He said there were 2 factors that dictated whether he actually went forward to take up the qualification place, because after the World Championships there was one more event in Poland where they could gain some points. He decided not to do that because he went and had a knee operation. But here we go once again, just to refresh you of our starting order. Start with the wild card, Axel Olin for Sweden. He will be starting us off. And the commentary is coming to you right from the ringside. I'm sitting pretty much level with this green Christmas tree in front of the yellow and the orange obstacle. But you will get to know the routes. You will become very familiar, and we will see which of the options that have been laid out by Johan Jacobs our drivers will take. Now that looks like a gonk nose there, very close up coming onto your screens. 500 volunteers in the background here. It's mind-boggling, and they are all so friendly. And for those of us that have flown in from abroad, they all speak the most fantastic English. So a big, big hand and shout out to all the many cheerful, hard-working. They're doing long hours here at Stockholm, the wonderful volunteers, and that surface looks fantastic. Remember those figures, 1,500 tons of surface is brought into this, actually football stadium, pop concerts venue. It's a multi-purpose complex, and it's next to the most enormous Westfields shopping centre. So if you're not enjoying all the equestrian and associated stalls and entertainment here, you just have to hop across the way and you can find pretty much anything in this vast shopping complex. We are at the northern end of this beautiful city of Stockholm. Solna is the region, and everybody is just settling into place, awaiting the start of competition 1, 4th leg of 8, halfway point already. Can you believe it? Where's your money? Probably has to be on Boyd, really, after that comeback in Stuttgart. The balls were flying, the first competition. It was extraordinary, and my colleague Gareth did a grand job of taking us through those last 2 legs. But I'm delighted to be with you here live in Stockholm as we entering the arena, and they are some good-looking greys. Welcoming in Axel Olin, Kalani, Kenzie, Minima and Orbit, ranging from 7 2 9-year-olds and an 11-year-old. And the music ramps up. The whole place is vibrating, and we haven't even started yet. Wow, this is going to be some night. Do not go anywhere as Axel Olin comes through, number 1. Now, he's the first to make these lines in the sand, and number 1 was quite deliberately tucked in at the back of that F gate, next to that orange right angle. Oh, now I can see one has gone already on the screen. That's right, the judges, Andrew, Pia and Gunn, they are pressing those buttons that are bringing you the live times and penalties. So that's 1 gone so far, and he's come in on that left rein, going through that second gate, looping back down. This is all on the left rein at the moment, keeping it smooth. Remember, these are his outdoor horses. They're a little bit bigger than a lot of the indoor teams we've seen, and speaking to him earlier, he said he just wanted to keep it flowing and forward. I can see a ball on the ground in the middle, and yes, that's come up on your screen as well. And I think we'll have another ball down there. Yes, maybe another 2. But he's out through F, and just have a note of those times. He was out in 68, so that gives us a bit of a marker. That could be that other set he didn't actually have a ball on top, but it certainly wobbled. We all need a little bit of luck. As Axel Olin heaves through number 8. Now that was a very good shot of a ball rolling across the screen there. Sometimes we can't always bring you it, but that was perfect. Brilliant camera shot. And Oxer is number 9. So we got 4 and 9 as Oxers as the music comes down again, and he drops into number 10. Keeping the flow, that's the important thing. Looked like an overreach boot came off at that point as well. Lovely pictures coming to you live from the Friends Arena in Stockholm. As the wild card Axel Olin, our first one in, and just look at the almost cheeky placing of number 7 there. They're just placed quite close next to these elements, so you do have to just be so careful. Yes, boot there in the middle of the arena, but that's fine. Oh, the concentration. Look at that concentration on Axel's face. All the other drivers have, this is their second and third event, well, apart from Fredrik, but it is tough coming in first time round, but the music's up and the horses are running over the bridge. That's number 13, Clatter Clatter. Always really adds to the atmosphere. Yeah, that looked like a ball there at 14. We've got some cracking camera work for you here. And the horse has just been given their heads to run through. Now, that looked like a 20. It sort of disappears pretty quickly, but that's probably just whilst everybody ratifies. I bet that adrenaline is flowing through. So that was 183.52, and that gives us a 203.52. He's just taking it all in. It all went by so quickly. It was all about the reflexes, and these bigger outdoor horses did a grand job. This is the first time they've done it. Axel himself is not a regular indoor competitor. He first did it in 2015, then again in 2018. So all credit to him. It takes quite a lot of guts to step up and do that. And aren't they just beautifully marked with those lovely dapples down them? What super horses. As for Germany, now she has sort of warmed into her series now, Mareike Meier, and she's got Linda and Nicole on the back with her, the all-female crew. I think she's the same age as Axel, but the real stars of the show, Fridolin, Sunfire, Zatin and Zazu. Fairly established combination for this lovely horsewoman. Takes so much pride in her horses, such a great relationship with them. They're getting towards the top end of the age bracket, 14, 16, 18 and 20 different breeds. KWPN, so Dutch warm blood in there, Oldenburg. One of them actually was driven back in the day by Felix Marie Brasseur. If you follow the biographies of these horses, because my goodness, they are such pros. As the music gets turned up, the heat intensifies, and we're off. The clock is running for Mareike Meier and her lovely big striding horses. I think that was definitely a knock. Yes, and the 4 concurs with that, but she's through. Number 4, that ox, so those 2 oxes on that long side, 4 and 9 as. You can just see how long these horses are. You think the average horse is about 2.5 metres, so double that. You've got 5 metres plus a gap in between, so probably 6 metres of horses plus the gap to the carriage. I mean, that is some length of unit to get through these gates. It really does defy all logic. And somehow they make it look seamless. Brilliant. 8 ads so far for Mareike Meier. Boom, boom, boom. 16 shod feet over that bridge. I think that was number 7. You just saw a ball down there as they go through 8. And that's another one. Questions being asked. Now, this was interesting. This was one of the key lines that Johan spoke about, that line from 8 to 9. We're up to 12 on the penalties. But there was the option, if the drivers really wanted to take a wide flow, they could have gone round the back of that obstacle. But no, they're choosing to cut in for that 8 to 9, one of the key lines on this course. Into number 10. I think Dee's taken a tumble there. and she's out. We've got 16 there just now. Through 11, just a quick check on the reins, but they're into their strides. They're big, powerful horses, aren't they? Elegance and power. And we are bringing you a bit of heaven on earth tonight in Stockholm. 20 in that golden box, but it's just great sport. As at the moment, it looked like both Mareike and Axel, a bit faster, 167.26, so that gives a total of 187.26. So that's where we are on our running totals at the moment. So the busy arena party just doing a little bit of squaring up. Nice to be kept busy. They do look so cool, these drivers, don't they? It's about 2 tons of horsepower, probably a bit more with these bigger horses in front of them, because the specialist indoor teams, remember, a lot of these horses, these slightly bigger horses, are used outdoors, so they have to do the dressage marathon and the cones as well. A lot of the qualified drivers, I say a lot, it's 10 per series, but they have their specialist indoor teams, the much more compact horses, the bigger ponies. That's why they like the Lipizzana's, the temperament. Now, this could be a round to watch. Really, don't even blink, because Dries has been absolutely blasting through this. Getting better and better, that's right. Now, his face won't give away anything, except if he wins, and then you'll get a great big smile. And he's got Tara Wilkinson on the back. They're great to have Tara keeping the end up for the Brits as well, and Kim van Holder. So the same team as he's had for the last few seasons. It's his 4th World Cup series. And to hear Dries talking very humbly after his win in Lyon, he said, I'm still learning. I'm still one of the youngest drivers on the circuit, and I'm always learning and watching. We're all learning, but to hear it being spoken about and to hear him paying tribute to these wonderful horses. Big star, of course, that horse out of Plains Liberator, very important sire for our sport horses. Hunter, Cane B and Leon. Relatively young, 8, 8, 11 and 12. Now, are we going to have a clear round here? Yes, that was very well done. That was how to get through that obstacle. Lots of options, lots of turns, but they're like boingy, springy horses. They can condense and stretch, and that was one of the things Dries said about them. Now look, he's cut down through that obstacle. That's the line he's taken to give himself a bit more of a swing and keep up the rhythm. He said in that interview, the little ones are faster than the big ones, which means you've got that spring. And one of the qualities that certainly Glenn was talking about, and we'll see him out here before too long, is that with these smaller horses, and particularly some of them with the Lipizzana blood in them, they might be purebreds or crossbreds, they will spring between trot and canter quicker than some of the big striding horses that might just fall into a trot. And that's what you want. You want that extra impulsion that comes from them. Now, that was just illustrated beautifully. Thank you, horses. Now, a ball on the floor there, and a letter. A's gone, but we're still on 4. Looking very good for the Belgian as he comes through 11. Certainly looking very good, as we would expect, but you have to combine speed and accuracy. That's the crux of it. It's a simple formula, but my goodness, it's much, much harder than that to do it right. 14, looking good. Now they really, look how they flatten. So just love it when this team race through. Their little ears go back and they streamline themselves, and that was fantastic. Go on, Dries, give us a smile. Go on. 155.86, 4 to add, so that gives us 159.86. There we go, there we go. And we've got our smile. Thank you, Dries. We've got our smile. Lovely. They have to concentrate so hard. The adrenaline's pumping. Horses, humans, everybody, even those of us in the arena. It really is about as febrile and visceral and all those words that you can get. And they are just giving their biggest hearts to him. They work very well as a team, this lot. Really do. Well matched, as I said before, in conformation and type. And just such willing, positive horses. Concentrate like their boss does. Now, somebody who will have had an eye to that round, because he's a master statistician, tactician, all sorts of things, is Boyd Exell. And if ever you want to see the comeback king, because he really was last weekend, go back and watch Stuttgart. Don't move from here now, but do go back and watch those rounds in Stuttgart, because it really was a bit otherworldly, actually, what was happening there. Let's see if we sort of stick true to form and on paper this week, because last week all sorts of things were going on. Certainly made it gripping viewing. As we come to, well, Banjok, Bundy, Barney, Katie did Duchess. I'll tell you a little bit more about her later, and Mad Max. So the Fab Four, off they go, and through number one, tucks in, had to get that line right. Can be a little bit soul-destroying to get an early ball, so keep it clean in that first half of the course, because we know this guy has gears that engineers, heads of the motor industry, Formula One didn't even know they existed. It is impossible not to get caught up in the beat of tonight, the horse hooves falling, the music. Talking to those leaders. Bundy, that's who he's talking to. Brilliant Bundy, age 21. And if you saw the reels from Stuttgart, at that point, it will be 98 now, 98 World Cup first places for that one horse. Now, what a remarkable career he's had. So, we'll just salute these brilliant horses, in particular the likes of Bundy, who have certainly helped this man reach incredible heights in this sport. He's been driven by Emma, who's on the back, Emma Olsen, who's keeping Boyd right, and my goodness, she does that very well. Ruby Lawrence, who else has driven in? Gavin Robson, Misty Wrigley. Oh, what a horse he has. He would have several versions or volumes of autobiography if he could. So nothing to add so far. Look how well they just go into each other. They almost become like one when he pushes them in to get that tight line. It's the discipline of this team, the training, and just nothing left to chance. That's why that even when he's coming from behind and the odds are stacked against him, he can still pull it out the bag. But actually, it seems pretty much, don't want to fate it, but business as usual for Boyd Exell. He had us on the edge of our seats in Stuttgart, but at the moment, he's doing what he does so very, very well. And those fantastic horses running 144.91. Well, beat that, everybody. Quite incredible. What can you say? Jeez. Dries was 155.86, and that looked pretty fast, but just look at that. 144.91. I think he's going to be in the drive-off. Big loops, in with one arm, out with the other. It's the giving is almost important. But look, even when they look a tiny bit disorganized, they recover themselves really well. It all just stays forward and positive. As we welcome back in some greys. Now, this is really brilliant, and you'll be able to tell from those cheers that this horse sport loving nation love all their horses, ponies, everything. And Fredrik Persson personifies the passion. And, well, let's just hope that he didn't notice that. As number one has gone. But it's his first round. He is in the series as a qualified driver. It's fantastic. And that's another one. Let's just wait for that to come up. Now, this is a really experienced team of horses. They were last driven by Chester Webber 2 years ago. I'm sure Chester will be tuning in just to see how they're doing. They also were quite connected with the Chardons. They've had a bit of Bram and Icebrand training over the years as well. But in more recent times, they were actually out to pasture in France. So they've had a bit of a break from it all. They're not that old. We've got two 12-year-olds, a 14 and a 15-year-old. And it's just, and even Ricardo Massman from Chile, he's driven one of these horses. They really are very well-travelled international animals. Well recovered there from Fredrik, well recovered. They really want to do the job, those leaders in particular. But they're just learning. Fredrik said earlier, he said they're great horses and he's going to be using them for teaching. So not only are they here absolutely at the top level of international sport, they are also such lovely, well-trained horses. They've got a job to do. Now, doing a little bit of jumping in the arena, just lost his line there after 9. The Oxer went down, but that's okay. They'll sharpen up as the series goes on. Look at those ears, forward and back, just listening. They're all getting to know each other. This is quite recent that Fredrik took up driving them. 16 on the clock at the moment. Oh, now let's just see. Yeah, well done, well recovered. That was brilliant. So, good horses, so willing, going forward into their lovely sheepskin-covered breast collars, and he's through 11. So we've got 4 to add at the moment. But I'm sure, competitive though he is, and he's had the most fantastic outdoor season. And he spoke before about how he didn't want to use his outdoor team anymore. He didn't mind doing the on-indoor with them a couple of series ago when he was sharpening them up, those American horses that he did so brilliantly with at the World Championship. And he really made the decision that if he was going to come here as a qualified driver after he'd had his knee surgery, he was going to do it with indoor horses, and that's what he did. But 16 to add, pretty good going, 170.22, 186.22. That puts him into 3rd place at the moment. Puffing out, don't be hard on yourself, Fredrik. Quite a lot of pressure here in front of a knowledgeable crowd, but that will sharpen up with every round. He said they're a great combination of horses to drive out on the road because they're like ponies, a bit like those of us that drive Welshies. We know that they could be spooky and you can never take your eyes off of them. But he said when they're either teaching and training other drivers or when he brings them into the arena, they know their job. They're the pros. And of course, we mustn't forget the team on the back there. That's okay. That's why we have them made out of fairly lightweight materials, so that we can just have the odd nudge. We really are doing it for the greys tonight. That means everybody's being cautious, because any of you that have greys know that a little bit of work involved in making them look clean. But the last of our drivers coming in, Glenn Geerts, there we have it, as our qualified driver. This great story as well, the backstories behind these guys being here. Absolutely brilliant. Charlotte on the back there. Concentration from Glenn. Really passionate. And he is somebody that wears his emotions on his sleeves. a very, very talented horseman and trainer. Third generation. It's in his blood. Now, this is a combination that he has put together, and they're getting stronger and stronger each time. He was out in Maastricht and Stuttgart. But particularly when you see how they're working together from the aerial shots. He had 6 horses that came from France, and they had never done anything like this before. They've been driven, but they hadn't been used, you know, in this intense atmosphere, you know, asking the questions that are being asked. And so he's put together this combination. He said earlier, he said he was doing really well with his outdoor horses. He's always been somebody to champion his horses. Brilliant driving so far from Glenn. Well done. He's out there with nothing to add. This is incredible. It was only 6 weeks before the series started. So he got Hungary out the way, the World Championships. And then at the same time as getting these horses from France, he also, from a video that was sent to him by the Dobrovitzes, got 4 horses from Hungary. And from those 10 horses that suddenly arrived on the yard in Belgium, he put together 2 Hungarian horses and 2 French horses. That's the combination he's with at the moment, ranging in ages from 8, maybe it's the 8-year-old that has that slightly darker coat, 10, 15 and 16, but Le Pisanas so well suited to this, and hard to believe this is only their 3rd World Cup. They had a couple of warm-up events, but working better and better together every time. Yeah, and this is good for Glenn. Is he doing enough to get himself into the drive-off? This is brilliant stuff with these new horses. Every time they come out, they grow in confidence. They understand what's being asked of them. And they're really... Oh, that's 14 gone. 1 to add at the moment, or 4 to add, but 1 ball cone. But he should have done enough. 160.11, so that's going to give him 164.11. Let's turn back. I'm working off 2 pages here. Yeah, 3rd rank. That is great news. That's going to be the first drive off of the series for his. He's just missed out in Stuttgart. It was Maastricht was very much a pathfinding event for him. Coming together, we watched it come together over the rounds in Stuttgart, and what you can see the steps and the improvement and the growth between the horses and the trust and the communication, and it's all coming together here in Stockholm. So thank you for joining us wherever you are, and it is lovely to receive your messages, those of you that are pinging in notes to say wherever you're watching in the world. It's always great to hear from you and know that you are there. We're just having a little bit of arena maintenance. We've got the rakes out as we're bringing you the highlights, and it's always fascinating to see the different equipment that's being used. And I'll just give you confirmation that incredible time from Boyd Exell. Wowee, it's like he had little rockets on the hooves of those horses, something attached to the fetlocks. 144.91, absolutely extraordinary. And then the 2 Belgians, they've done enough to get into that drive-off. Brilliant. So Dries and Glenn. So those are our drive-off. And then, of course, Fredrik Persson, who we saw not longer, and Mareike Meier and Axel Olin. So we're just about to bring some highlights whilst live in the Friends Arena. We've got some tractors, and they've got little harrows on the back, and then they've got a double set of tyres with some weights on top. And it's, if you like this sort of thing, it's always fascinating how the different surfaces and the arenas and even nations treat what's going on here. And sometimes the equipment is narrow enough to fit through the gates, which it is here, as we are bringing it. Yep, that's why we have movable elements, so that when they do get nudged, they it all happens fairly quickly. Yeah, these sharp little horses. Where next, where next, where next? Just the speed of their thinking. And this is really one of the things that we keep saying sets Dries apart, his rein handling. That was his knock, just a little bit out there on the right-hand side. And then these pocket rockets. He's said time and time again, Boyd, all he has to do is steer. Yeah, but there's a lot that's gone into getting them to that point, as we know. And we also know that he is a man who has taken the technical side of this, the harness design, the vehicle, the design, thought about absolutely every element from nose to tail. And we get a smile from him as well. Anna's picking the sand out of her eyes. Quick shots here of Fredrik Persson. This team of grey lippies. And Glenn. Team effort with all three people. Bottom step. Just notice the hand, Charlotte's hand going down there every so often, just to twist that turntable on and off. It just helps with the flick out of the back of the carriage. Yeah, and that was what went then. But actually, we would have had the same result even if he hadn't had that late ball. So confirmation there of we're having three this time back into the drive-off. We do have to keep on our toes, make sure that we read the schedules properly, judges and commentators alike, just to make sure. So pretty full here tonight at the Friends Arena. It will be fuller tomorrow. This time last year, I remember researching the temperature, and it was actually -12 outside. And some of the many brilliant volunteers that we've spoken to since we've been here have said last year it was exceptionally cold. But that said, when you're inside, anything could happen. We are in our own sort of universe, and we're getting a big wave there. They're spotting themselves, always lovely. Families, there's a real friendly feel here. From the moment you walk in, everybody's smiling. And quite often, each arena, each show has a different vibe, a different feel, and sometimes you can have all the corporate and the dining areas next to it. This is all about the people, the Friends Arena, and we've got some Axel fans there, rightly so. Bit drizzly outside, bit grey, although it does get dark fairly quickly at this part of Scandinavia, and about 3 degrees. So everyone looking great. But one of the shows on the circuit when it is all about the crowd, the families, the people, the fans. And it's just got that sense from the second you arrive here. Very welcoming. So there's a brilliant system of lasers, and that it's used whether you're setting out scurry courses or all sorts of things. And what we were doing last night was observing the very slick arena party. They all knew what they were doing, brilliantly organised, and they were each picking up a set of cones, a pair of cones, or a box. As you can see in the middle of those marathon-style obstacles, a bit of the bridge. The bridge came in on 3 tractors and trailers, and all the arena dressing. And once Johan Jacobs, our course builder, and our judges, we had Andrew, Pia and Gun in here as well. Everybody was satisfied, the organisers were satisfied that everything was in place. Then we had a gentleman, this was all happening in the wee small hours, going round with his laptop, making sure that he programmed in the exact point, and it was a circle for the base of the cone or an angle. And it's like its own little laser show just before we bring you the live pictures. And that means that we can build the courses brilliantly quickly, and everybody knows exactly where they're going. So that just gives you a little bit of an insight as to what goes on in the background. Obviously, we have the very secure stabling areas. You need all sorts of different accreditations to get in. There's the trot-ups. There's briefings, there's the FEI stewards, Jan de Vares, who's probably one of the most experienced on the circuit. He has to keep everybody in order and give some briefings as to what they can and can't do. The orders that come in, the directions they come up to the arena. It is a well-oiled machine, but the logistics side of it has to be kept in place. Oh, they've just spotted themselves. Isn't that super? So a moment just to take it all in again. You've seen the routes they've taken. It all happened so quickly. And we've seen quite a few balls roll, and we've seen the points at which actually it was pretty evenly spread over the course. That 8 to 9 possibly drove a little bit better when they cut through the corner of the obstacle, as my colleagues in the arena, thunder is coming. It is such an amazing, just sort of full body experience being here. It just comes right up through you. Where else do you just have a bit of heavy metal and these wonderful horses? And it's brilliant to have Glenn Geerts back in, and the first of our drive-off drivers. 3 in tonight in competition 1 here in Stockholm. Through 1 and 2. Remember, it doesn't count tonight, but there's a lot of psychological gains to be made on this opening night. Tomorrow is when the points mean prizes and certainly ranking points, all leading to Bordeaux. Brilliant aerial shots. Now that was a beautiful circle. Did you see how well he drove in there on the left rein? That was just what Johan wanted. He wanted these 2 gate gaps because it's flowing, it's horse friendly, it gives them a time to get round. And yeah, just a knock there. Whoops, that's gone. Yeah, that's definitely a fall. But isn't it incredible? You can just have the tiniest knock and a ball rolls, or you can take out an element and it's still 4. And 8. Now, what line's he going to take? Yeah, down the back of those 2 orange right angles. Get in for 9. Yeah, that's brilliant. That was one of the questions. I think we've got an 8 up there now. But he's in a drive-off. That would have been exactly what Glenn wanted to happen tonight, Friday night in Stockholm. Through B there. Looping. Those arms working like pistons in and out. Good. Yeah, just trying to get his line there, that's fine. But yeah, he wanted just to come out so he could swing round on that, like a teardrop coming back on itself, and that was a knock, but that was a tight line that he took. Really going forward there, yeah. It's okay. Now, is he going to try and come back? Good horses, well done. And they're off, 0 to 60. Remember, this is this new combination, but he got a drive-off place, and it's still a learning journey for them. 16 on the clock just now, as that's number 13 back over the bridge. 14 is the final one. Yeah, left that one up. That's fine. And we run over the line in 165.39, so we'll add on 16 to that. 1:08.139, and he gives his horses a pat.
Ja, det visar hur svårt det här är. När det börjar knyta sig och du får lite problem. Han fick problem med första teknikhindret. Och sen så knöt det sig när han kom in i...
Now what happens is they go back out into the collecting ring, have a little cool down. They'll come in for the prize giving, and then there'll be all sorts of analysis before they start again for tomorrow. We will have a different course in the drive-off tomorrow. We lose the D-gates, but tomorrow's another day. But we know our drivers. They'll be analysing the turn. They'll be analysing how big the loop was, or they didn't take. Did the horse fall in? Did it respond? Lots going on. As in comes Dries. He had 4 down last time. That time of 1:55.86. We are going over the same course, so looking for a bit of parity, probably a second or two quicker against the clock. Sometimes when you drop the gates out of the drive-off, it doesn't really make sense to try and compare times because they're taking shorter routes. But there's Tara keeping him right. That navigator's position so important, and Tara is a very kind, intelligent horsewoman herself, specialises in bringing on young horses currently when she's not supporting Dries here on the World Cup circuit. She's competing on the indoor circuit in the United Kingdom and bringing on some young horses there. But in the meantime, we take our focus back to Stockholm, back to the drive-off. Big Star Hunter, Caneby and Leon, you know them. They are the superstars of the FEI Driving World Cup. They did so well in Leon, and they seem to be on the same form. It was commented last night that this would be a course that should suit Dries's horses, and so far that seems to be the case. Very agile. Just quick, quick, quick. Dancing, and even if they just offered there to swing out to the left, they quickly corrected themselves. Their responsiveness, that communication down through the reins, absolutely brilliant. Yes, and Kim really had to hang on there. That was quite a kickback as they came out of there. Blimey, what would that be like being on the back? Wow, fantastic. Hang on tight, no sweaty palms, please. Might have a little bit of whiplash there. That was quite an angle and just brilliant stuff. You just sense they can pin at any minute. Really fit. You need the fitness. It's the stamina and the speed. We're asking them to sprint, you know, stop, start. It's like doing a HIIT training class. And the music comes up again, and there's nothing to add on the clock so far. This is a great round for Dries Degrieck. Is he going to challenge Boyd? Come on, Dries. Boyd's time was 1:44.91. Oh, he's going to be very close. My goodness, my goodness. Where has he found the extra time from? Come on, Dries. Wow. That was brilliant. Now, that puts the pressure on Boyd. 1:46.81 and nothing to add. We have a real competition here. Brilliant, and you can just see his shoulders drop. He can do no more. We've got that Dries smile. Yeah, and relax. You can just see the muscle fibers relaxing in him. He can't do any more. Oh, look at those facial expressions, just brilliant. They're just like coiled springs, how they come forward and back and forward and back, the strength through their limbs and joints. Those hocks, quite incredible. These are the Inspector Gadgets of the horse world.
Vi hälsar Boyd Exell
Now Boyd Exell. I mean, how many times have we said, can you beat that? The words hang in the air because anything you can do, I can do better. But he can't afford a knock, or can he? We said that last week, and he's in Stuttgart 2 weeks ago, and he still came back and won. But that was a brilliant round. Don't forget, Jerome Vuters put Boyd under a lot of pressure in Stuttgart, and he still came back. That's what he does. So focused, unwavering in his focus and concentration, and in the constant questioning of how he can get better and better. Oh, now everyone. One has gone. One has gone. Is it going to be Dries's night? We know they're fast, we know it. But he cannot afford a single waver off a line. Not now. Oh! Right. That's not something we see very often. Come on, judges. That's another ball down. 2 balls on the floor. We can see it, can't we? And that was a knock. That was a knock. Was there anything there? Might have just been... Yeah, we've got our 8 on our screen. We've got the 8. And we've got a 12. OK. It would be a miracle, and we've seen this man perform miracles for many, many, many years, but I do think we're now getting into divine intervention. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, but just sit back and watch it, because this doesn't happen very often. We're on a 12 with Boyd. Little wry look on his face there. You could almost sort of just see him. See the slight change in his expression there. He's probably left himself too much. Even Boyd Exell will struggle to come back from this. But just you wait till tomorrow night, because there's nothing he does better than show everybody where he comes from when he comes from behind. So tonight is tonight. In the drive off. As they come out on a 12 at the moment. Is he going to put the foot down? Of course he is. Over the bridge. These brilliant horses. And 14. Well, the clock will stop at something very impressive. Yes, of course it does. 1:43. I think that said 9-1. Came up very quickly, but we've a little bit tired there. Yeah, give us a smile and a wry whatever. Emma, 1:59.57. It was a 5.7. 1:59. Well, it was a good competition. And that just shows that even when you're the most decorated four-in-hand driver in the world, you are still human. But hold on to your hats for tomorrow night, because he will be watching this. And those balls. There's a bit of a grudge to be settled tomorrow night from Boyd Exell. But let's now turn our attention to the gentleman from Belgium, who is making his mark this series. Yep, that was just a bit tight on that turn. And just wavered on his line there. But still, an incredible night of competition. And just that flick on 14, featherweight flick. Luck not on his side tonight. He had all the luck. He had all the luck in the world in Stuttgart. And maybe this is just a bit of balance coming back. But a tremendous result. Well done to Dries Degrieck. Congratulations to Dries and the crew. Those brilliant horses. 1:46.81. Boyd Exell on 1:63.57 for a second place. Glenn Geerts 1:85.39. And so those were the scores. So those top 3 scores, and then those were the drive-off ones. And then don't forget that for Fredrik, Anna Mareike and Axel, those were the time and penalty totals from their first round. So we did have those 3 back in the drive-off, and that was a great competition. So, as this incredible arena party come in, we are bringing you a little bit of Dries again. Quite incredible. Sprinting horses, there's not an ounce of anything spare on them. They're in the most incredible condition. But yeah, the communication. Razor sharp. And Dries doing everything right so far. So he was our Lyon winner. And he's just beaten Boyd tonight. Don't forget, this is his second leg. Boyd's third for some of the others, first for some of the others. But we did all wonder when our 2 winners so far came up against each other. So these are the standings. Nothing that has happened tonight will impact this. So Dries has got that 10 from Lyon. That was a full 10. Boyd's got his 20 from Maastricht and Stuttgart. Jerome Voutaz, who just did so much right in Stuttgart. We really thought it was going to go his way. He's a 14 at the moment, but this will all change. And then, of course, we've got IJsbrand, Bram, Glenn and Georg on equal 0.7. Anna Mareike, she will obviously get some more points this time. And Kusterond, although he's been out twice, one of those times was as a wild card, so that's why he's sitting there. But there'll be all sorts of shuggling about and movement on that table as time goes on. So remember those 500 volunteers behind the scene, from checking bags to checking passes to manning every doorway in the arena, every entrance to the seating parts. As you can see, they've all got these lovely stewards on them, people wandering around giving out information, and this brilliant arena party. And I'm just watching the solitary figure. It looks like he's carrying his Sunday shopping. He's got the start and finish bollards in his hands. That's Johan Jacobs, and I'll catch up with him a little bit later because it will be lovely to share some insights with how he felt the drivers and the horses responded to the course. Is it as he wanted? Were there the number of clear rounds? It's a bit like in show jumping, they sort of have a magic formula as to how many clear rounds they want. And this beautiful sort of constellation in the background, and yeah, the phones are coming on, so we've got the torches coming on, the Christmas trees are out, the first of our Christmas World Cups. My colleagues have been busy bringing you the action for the dressage and jumping World Cups in Madrid, and the technical team behind the scenes bringing you these live pictures. They've been covering lots of events, not just the World Cups, but we've got some bass guitar in now as we welcome in, with a guard of honour indeed, Dries Degrieck and his brilliant horses. Now, Tara's off, just want to have a quick haircut. So, live FEI TV from Stockholm as we look at the winner of competition 1, 4th leg of 8. So that determines our running order for tomorrow. So don't miss it. We're a little bit earlier tomorrow. I could give you the live times, but wherever you're watching in the world, however you're watching it, be it through the YouTube channel, the subscription channels, clicking in through social media, it is great to have you with us. So our top 3 tonight: Dries, Boyd Exell in second, and Glenn Geerts.
Prisutdelning här i FEI Driving World Cup som har presenterats av Creative Technology. Vi ska välkomna vår prisutdelare Ola Vigelius som är Senior Project Manager på Creative Technology tillsammans med sin dotter Ebba. Genom en välkomstapplåd.
And just welcoming in to the arena to help present the prizes.
Och segraren
From Creative Technology. And naturally we are so grateful to all our sponsors, not just in the World Cup, as he acknowledges the crowd. Brilliant job done tonight by Glenn and his supersonic horses.
Och då ber jag er alla, om ni har möjlighet, att resa er upp. Please rise for the national anthem of the winning nation. The winner for Belgium, Dries Degrieck! Ja, han tar hem segern här i
La Brabanconi is the Belgian national anthem, and we've heard that already this series. I wonder how many more times we're going to hear it again. And Boyd in second. He'll come out tomorrow, all guns blazing.
Och på en tredje plats då för Belgien, Geerts!
And great to have Glenn in the drive-off. And thank you also to Axel Olin, who was our wild card, to Fredrik Persson and to Mareike Meier. Great having them as well.
I'm really pleased with the horses today. They did a really good job. We did a hard fight actually against Glenn and Boyd in the winning round, so we are very happy.
You already won the first leg in Lyon, and now you're back here in Stockholm. You're going to win in Stockholm as well, you think?
Well, I think I'm the youngest driver of the team drivers, so the other ones are more experienced, so they will be prepared for tomorrow, so we have to take care.
That man behind there, he hates to lose, and you make him angry, and tomorrow he's going to be even more angry. But sometime when he got pressure on him, last year he got some pressure, and then he wasn't first, he wasn't second with third, so maybe you would put the pressure on him.
Yeah, I think Boyd stays Boyd a little bit, so you never know with him.
Okay, we best you all the luck for tomorrow, and thank you for very nice driving.
Thank you very much.
Dries.
Quite right, Dries. I don't know how you answer a question like that. We all know how brilliantly Boyd can come back, but the likes of Dries are not making it easy for him.
Så vi behöver ta ut våra prisutdelare och hämta in våra granar.
I wonder how many times those illuminated presents and trees are carried in and out. It'd be great to have a little tracker on them. I'm sure it's lots of times. So just to confirm, tomorrow night we will be back at about 6:25 local time, if everything here is running to time. So that is the time for the decider, which is where the points will be won on the road to Bordeaux. And then we will be entering the second half of the series already. It really does fly by. But in the meantime, enjoy the closing moments of what has been an absolutely brilliant competition, and all credit to Dries Degrieck. He kept his head. His horses were as keen as they went through the finish that second time as they were when they first came into the arena. He's really got their fitness and their attitude absolutely on song. Boyd will be back tomorrow, of course he will. And well done to Glenn, just in front of me now. He's throwing a rosette into the crowd as we've got a few phones and the torches, but a really, really special, family, friendly, welcoming event, and they love their driving. So that's us rounding off the live coverage. Thank you so much for joining us. Do not miss it tomorrow. Please take care wherever you are. I'm Sarah Dance. It is always an absolute joy and honour to bring you this live action. Thank you for tuning in.
Tonight